Hello, my loves, and welcome back. In this series of videos, we're going to be talking about cat chakras, how you can balance them, how they become unbalanced, and what can cause blockages in them. Today, we're talking about the root, so stay tuned if you want to find out more. If you haven't already subscribed to the Naturally Cats YouTube channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button along with the bell to get notifications of my new releases so you can help your cat with every video. In the video today, I'm talking about the root chakra, and if you're interested to find out more information, you can get my book, Cat Chakras, A Complete Guide to Cleansing, Clearing and Balancing Your Cat's Core Energy Centers. So let's start off with what the root chakra represents, how it impacts your cat, okay? So the root chakra connects the cat to the physical world. So it helps them to feel grounded and safe in their environment. It's generally the starting point when you're working with your cat's energy because it helps them to anchor in the shift of energy that they will experience. Okay. It controls the fight and flight response in a cat. So it's really essential to understand when this is blocked or when it's unbalanced, how that can impact your cat's behavior, their temperament, their sense of feeling safe. So when cats have regular thriving relationships, when they've got consistent routine, their territory is well established, they feel very safe and secure in their environment. There is no need to feel threatened. There is no need to kind of be in that fight or flight mode. However, things happen, cats may come into your garden, whether you've got indoor or outdoor cats. Things will happen day to day for humans and for cats, which will unbalance our energy, which will unsettle our chakras. So, as much as you try your best to help your cat be happy, healthy, and well, just note that energy is always moving, it's always changing. So, in order to make sure that you can help your cat with their energy, with their emotional state, which is what energy is tied to, it's key to have ways that your cat can manage their own energy. And we'll come on to that just a bit later. So, the root chakra, where is it? So, it's at the base of the tail, towards the end of the cat's back. And their root chakra isn't just one spot, it's not just one space. So energy continuously moves and the chakras come out of the body. Now, for cats, they've also got root chakras on their feet. So if you think about humans, we say, grounding ourselves, putting our feet on the floor, connecting roots in, etc. Our root chakra isn't just at our feet. Our root chakra is actually at the base of the core of our body. So cats have it the same. It's where they're connected with the earth and it's towards the end of their body. So just bear this in mind when you are stroking your cat, because when you stroke them, you are shifting and moving energy. So as I said, cats that have a balanced root chakra will feel safe and secure in their environment. They'll be able to have relationships with other animals and humans in their home, and they can trust. Okay, they can lean into trust with their routine, with their environment, with other humans. When a cat is grounded, they are very safe, secure, and stable. Okay. Now, when a cat's root chakra becomes unbalanced, this can happen with something like a traumatic event, for example, being in a cattery or a rescue center. Or it can be something that is like a blip of energy. So by that, I mean, if another cat comes walking across your patio, or somebody comes to the home and they feel unsettled or they feel threatened. There are different extremes with all of the chakras that we'll cover in the next set of videos that can influence energy. And it can be a big thing and it can be a small thing. Now, you have no control over how your cat's energy is influenced or impacted, but you do have control. You are able to influence how they can balance and shift their energy. So if a cat is unbalanced in their root, they're likely to have problems with elimination. So maybe they're constipated, maybe they're showing signs of really straining when they're using the litter tray. It's important to have a look at your cat's kind of toileting habits from a behavior perspective. It's crucial because it can, help us to understand if they are struggling, if they are stressed. From a physical body, it helps us to understand if there's any problems. Is it running? Have they got runny poops? Have they got, funny colored poops, etc. So there may be problems with elimination with a cat that has an unbalanced root chakra, and they may also have dandruff in their skin. So these are just a few things to look out for. If a cat has got a prolonged imbalance of their root chakra, they are likely to show signs of poor immunity. I can't get my words out. So, for example, my boy Leo, I regularly work with his root chakra. He actually has a red collar on him every day because he can get ungrounded very quickly. Now, this isn't to do with his day to day. This is to do with his history. So he was feral for the first 18 months of his life. So for the first 18 months of his life, through key socialization periods, development periods, he wasn't safe, and that has impacted him. That is part of the way that he is the way he is. Now, I can either get angry with that, be frustrated with that, or I can work with that and support him with that. So, for example, one of the stories that I've shared before is that when people would come to the door, he would run away. He'd run outside because outside is where he can feel safe. Not that I understand that, but that's for him. I used to get so frustrated and be like, oh, buddy, it's just the Amazon delivery person, or it's just the mailman, or for goodness sake, like, what's the problem? And now I realize that I have a space to honor him. So now I share with him, quick, buddy, someone's come into the door. Auntie Emma, my sister, is coming, or Grumpy, my dad, as my niece calls him, Grumpy. Quick, he's coming to the door, or he's on his way in 5 minutes. He's here. Quick, go outside. Be safe. So when it comes to the root chakra, there are ways that we can help our cats to deal with it. Now, just another point to mention about Leo, he has asthma, an immune problem. So you see, he is really clearly sharing with me what is going on with his energy. Now, I can also read his body language, big eyes, flat ears, potentially a puffy tail. It's a way to use different levels of your cat and your awareness of your cat to understand what's going on with their chakras. So checking their physical body, looking for behavioral responses, and checking their kind of emotional and mental health. Are they hiding away? Are they trembling? Are they withdrawn? Are they depressed? Okay. Now, one last thing to say about the root before I go on to what it looks like, how you can help your cat with it, is that cats thrive on connection. Now, this I will talk about more when we come into the heart chakra, but cats can't be left alone for long periods of time. They aren't aloof. They aren't, independent. They are sentient, sensitive beings that need connection just like we do. So if a cat is left alone for a period of time, it can unsettle and unbalance their root chakra. Now, each chakra is associated with different parts of the physical body. Now, I've mentioned before about the root being associated with like elimination. So the root is also connected with the spine, okay, with the bladder, with the colon, the lower half of the digestive system, and it governs vitality. So again, if your cat is a bit under the weather, think about where their energy is, which chakras are out of alignment, which chakras need support. So the root chakra is connected to emotional and mental stability. Now, I've mentioned about cats having established territory, from a behavioral perspective, the 3D kind of version. Yes, they need to have established territory. When a cat has that, it enables them to feel safe and secure. So it's like a human having a roof over their head, somewhere to call home. It helps us to feel safe. This is the same for cats. So if you've got a lot of change going on in the home, if you've got, people coming and going, you don't have a set routine for feeding, these things, as much as we may talk about, their cat behaviors and, we're cat owners, not that I align with that. There's another reason for these things to happen, for you to have this in place. So when a cat is trying to manage their root chakra, you might find that they're over grooming. Now, I've got a whole other video on over grooming, and I'll pop a link in the description below. Over grooming is a self-soothing behavior, and a cat will do it to move their energy. Now, it can also be connected with them trying to find a sense of control and balance and that is what is connected to the root chakra. So if you've got a cat that's over grooming, please listen to the second part of this video, which is coming up in just a moment, about how to offer grounding and energy support to your cat for their root. So a mantra that you can use with your cat to help them with their root chakra is, you are safe and secure. You can write it on paper, you can put it on the floor, you can say it to them out loud, you can say it from your mind's eye, you can say it from your heart space. You are safe and secure. That helps to, even with those words, as simple as it may sound, setting the intention, speaking those words will help you to shift your cat's energy. You are safe and secure. You are safe and secure. So every chakra is associated with a different color. It has its own frequency, and more information on the frequency and the further details are available in my book. So just before we wrap up and I talk to you about how to balance your cat's root, just bear in mind that this is the starting point. You know, if a cat is ungrounded, you can work with the other chakras, but you're unlikely to really anchor in an energy shift. You might make a few small changes, but if the cat isn't grounded and centered, the energy is going to have trouble balancing. Okay, so consider starting with the root if you can. Now, let's talk about how you can offer ways to balance your cat's root chakra. Now, no one knows but the cat what they need to heal. You may have been listening to this video and it sounds like I'm talking about your cat. You know, you can recognize, yeah, I think that's my cat, my cat does that, my cat does that. But we don't know what our cats need to heal, which is why we need to give them a choice. By giving the cat a choice, we allow them autonomy, we allow them a sense of control, we allow them to trust in their own instincts and respond to their own needs. We are not a cat owner, we are a cat guardian. And as we guard these beautiful beings, we owe it to them to give them the space to manage themselves. Now, the great thing with the root, it can be really fun. Now, because it's about connecting with the environment, if you've got an indoor cat, consider bringing the outdoors indoors. So when you go for a walk, pick up leaves and twigs and feathers if you see them. I always see feathers whenever I go for a walk. I bring them home for the boys. My boys do go outside, but it will smell differently. It's enrichment. So bring the outdoors indoors. You know, it might be that you want to go to that, you take it a step further and bring in an empty litter tray and fill it with mud and soil. Put a few rocks in there, like, you know, create something to engage the cat, to help them to ground themselves. If possible, give your cat access to outside. Now, this isn't about indoor versus outdoor. There is no right or wrong. It is whatever is best for you, your cat, and your circumstances. If you have capacity to let your cat outside, then do so. Or if you can do it in a controlled manner, giving them access to feeling the ground beneath their paws is helpful. Okay. Like I said, if you can't do that for whatever reason, bring the outdoors indoors. Now, there are crystals and essential oils and herbs that you can use. Again, full details are in the Cat Chakra book. You can get a signed copy from my website. And it's about understanding what you want to do to support the cats. What are you into? Because when we offer our cats the chance to balance their chakras, it's not just about doing it for them. It's about us growing and leaning into this shift with them. One other thing to try with them is play. Again, this may sound simple, and from a behavioral perspective, like always play with your cats. Don't just, dwindle a toy when you're watching the telly. But play and physical movement builds trust between you and the cat. It promotes joy. Regardless of all the kind of hormones and endorphins and things that it releases on a physical level, let's forget that for a minute. It gives your cat the chance to engage in its natural instincts, to bond with you. And that will help the cat to feel grounded. Making sure that they've got established territory is key. So ensuring they've got cat beds, they've got scratching posts, they've got places to eat. And like I said, the crystals, essential oils and herbs, all of which are in the book. One last thing to remind you of is colour. So the color associated with the root chakra is red, like I've said before with Leo. So have a think about color therapy. Explore how you could use it. Pillows, collars, cushions, throws, blankets, water bowls. One thing to mention, if you're using a coloured water bowl, make sure you've got a neutral source of water for your cat as well, because remember, the colour red has a frequency. If your cat is very grounded, it doesn't need more grounding, and it's only got a red water bowl or a red plate to eat from, you don't want to cause a problem and an aversion to either drinking or eating with that. So with anything to do with energy, give your cat options, okay? So I hope this has been helpful for you, and I hope it's given you some food for thought in terms of what to look for if your cat is unbalanced and how you can support them to work with this core energy center. So like I said, you can get a signed copy of the Cat Chakra book from my website. And in fact, I'm offering you the first chapter for free in the description below. So click the link and you can check out the beginning part of the book and see if it's for you. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I look forward to sharing with you the next chakra, which is the sacral, in the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.